that advantage, I think. Well, good morning. What a beautiful morning it is. It is still morning, I think. Hang on, I'll tell you. 11:24. Can't speak. Got a mouthful of neck scarf. I'm just going to have to chew cloth for a bit. Well, how are you folks? So this is a bit of a run out, a bit of a review. Not that not that I really need to do a review on a GS, because there are a million reviews on GSs out there. Really, a bit of a catch up to let you know how I'm getting on with the new bike. And it's good news. Obviously, it's good news. I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. It's a phenomenal. Oh, we're going up here. It's a phenomenal bike. I mean, I knew the GS was good anyway, because I took one out from Pidcock's before. They feel really familiar in no time at all. The ergonomics of the bike are, perfectly set up, haven't they? They've been around for so many years now, since the 80s, that they just nail it on every single aspect. I think they just nail it, BMW. There's a reason why they're the most popular and the biggest selling sports tourer. I was sorry to see Attila go. I was, because I loved Attila. Great bike, really good bike, but 2 years ownership, and there was, as you know, things about Attila that I didn't get on with brilliantly well. Height being one thing, weight being another thing, and I'm going to pull this scarf down. Bear with. Yeah, that's better. I was chewing it. Yeah, height being one thing, the weight of Attila being another. Now, I know what you're going to say, the GS is actually heavier. It is heavier. But you also know I'm going to say that all the weight is low down. The balance of this bike is absolutely superb. I feel so confident with the balance, moving it around at low speed, and also this is a low as well. It's a BMW GS low version, so ideally suited for short asses like me. Now, Africa Twin, Honda, you really need to make one of those. We're going up here. Too busy talking to you guys, not paying attention to where I'm going. Yeah, Honda, make a low version. There's a load of short asses out there that really struggle managing a bike like the Africa Twin. It's twats, honestly. Middle of the road. Yeah, we'll just wang it round the corner. Everybody's going to look out for us. Anyway, yeah, there's a load of short asses out there like me who want an Africa Twin, and believe me, if I could have got on better with Attila, height wise, well, just really height wise, I think, well, I would have stayed with Attila. I wouldn't have bought this bike. This bike came up, as you know, I've already been through that story before. Wayne, the sneaky sod, I said to him that I didn't want a GS. That's all I kept saying to him. I don't want a GS. Everybody else has got a GS. But then this came up. Look at it. Look at those colours. I mean, wow. This is just gorgeous. I love it. I love the colours. Oh, it's sex. It really is. It's got the lights on it. They were going to take those off. Pidcocks are going to take those off. Why? Give the customer that option, Pidcocks. I wanted them on, definitely. I know a lot of people, when I posted a picture of Attila in Scotland a couple of years back, people were saying, oh, what about, you know, people coming the other way, poor sods, you know, get the retinas burnt out. Well, my argument to that is, can you see me? Yes? Good. End of argument. I'm not discussing that any further. I want to be visible. Believe me, stupid sods still pull out on me. Not on this bike, but on Attila, with those huge Denali D4s on, so bright. Idiots still pull out on you. I want as many lights on the front of my bike as I can get on, and this has got them. I'm really chuffed. I'm really chuffed with it. I think visibility is everything, isn't it, on a bike? Because you just can't trust motorists, and even with all this, you know, lights, even with all these lights, I still don't trust motorists. I still take precautions. You know, when you come in close to a junction and there's someone sitting there in a car, they might be looking at you, but I watch the wheels now. Someone said to me, rather than look at the driver, because they might be looking at you anyway and still pull out, watch the wheels. As soon as they start to turn, you can take avoiding action. So, tip from me for today. Thank you very much. I'm here all week. No argument with the lights, and I can't believe that Pidcocks were going to take them off, because there's, well, I don't know how much money. There must be getting on for £1,000 worth of lights on here. So yeah, I'm more than chuffed with those. Thank you very much. What else about the bike? Well, it's also got the BMW badged front caliper, which is made by an American company called Hayes. These, in my opinion, are the best caliper. They are the better caliper, better than Brembo, in my opinion. They are absolutely rock solid. It's like throwing ship's anchors out. They're that good. Brembo are brilliant, and the Brembos on the GS that I tried are also really good. Obviously, they're Brembos, but I prefer these. What else can I tell you? The quick shifter. When I tried the GS from Pidcocks, I found it to be a bit agricultural, but the more I ride this bike, the more I see its sophistication in different, you know, different levels of sophistication. And I don't mean in some aspects it's agricultural. It's a big, beefy, powerful adventure bike. They all feel a bit agricultural, but now I'm getting used to it. Now I'm getting used to the gear changing, and I've learned a little technique. So in the lower gears, where it's really clunky, I've found that when you're accelerating, if you just let the throttle off slightly when you make your changes, you get less of a bounce. tiny little tweak back on the throttle makes a massive difference. It makes it so much smoother. So today we're going to head down to a place called Stoke Dry. Not Dry Stoke, Stoke Dry. Just for a ride out, basically. I was looking on my maps last night and wondering where I was going to go. Got a bit of a draft. And I've been here before to Stoke Dry, so I thought, yeah, I'm going to go down there. A bit of a ride. It's in Rutland, just south of Uppingham. I've got the drone with me, so I might chuck that up if it's not too windy. It's going to rain later as well. I was looking at the weather forecast earlier. It's going to absolutely hammer it down. I'm really impressed with the telelever suspension on the front. You come to a junction and there is just no bounce, no dive, no bouncing around trying to get your legs down, trying to work out where the bike's going to end up. I'm not overly keen on these tyres. So these are Torrents, the oh god, who makes them? Metzler, oh I should have gone up there, bollocks. Metzler Torrents, they're alright I suppose, but I suppose I need to give them more of a chance. You see, this sort of thing on the Africa Twin I used to hate doing. He says, I'm making a shit pig's ear of it on the GS. How am I getting used to the clutch? Well, yeah, I'm getting used to it. So it does catch me out one or two times. I've just been sitting there thinking, well, change then. Change gear then. And nout is happening. But yeah, it's a clutch, isn't it? I've used a clutch before. I think I've been up here before. Like I was saying in the last video, if you've watched the last video when I was taking a tiller to swap it for this, I was saying that I found in northern Spain in the Picos that when I was trying to line the bike up for certain bends, it would be in a gear in DCT, and just as you're about to drop the bike into the bend, it would change gear. It would go, I don't like being in this gear, it's too low, I'm going to change up. And it would then, because the engine braking then loosened off, it would sort of push you into the bend. Now, when I mentioned that in the video, Mark, who also came with us, he didn't notice it in Picos, but as soon as I said it, he said that he found it exactly the same. I went up to have breakfast with that bunch on a couple of weeks ago, and he said exactly the same, that he found that morning it just felt the same to him, as if he was being pushed into the bends. So yeah, I mean, it's a slight thing, and you can use the manual shifters, obviously you can use the manual shifters, but I personally didn't like using the manual shifters, not with gloves on. With this, obviously, with it having gears and a clutch, you can just and it's got an awful lot of torque as well. You can just leave it in A gear, which is what the guys in Picos were doing. They're either in first or third, second or third, and they would just leave it in those gears while we were doing all these twisties, and you know, no need to change gear, or very rarely change gear. So this has got a full Akrapovic exhaust on it as well, which when you start it up is very loud, but it does, once it warms up, it does quieten down significantly. It's the sort of thing the devil in me wants to fire it up next to a bunch of people. and watch them jump out their skin, because it is that loud. It gives a huge pop. So loud, in fact, that my neighbour, the first time I started it up, my neighbour came running out of his house because he thought something had happened. So yeah, interesting. But it only does it, you know, like on that first startup. As soon as there's some warmth in it, then it doesn't do it anymore, thankfully. And it does quieten down. It sounds nice. It's quite raspy and quite nice. Loads of popping and farting and all sorts coming out of it. So the guy who had it before me, he also fitted these USB points here. So there's 2 USB points. So for someone like me, who's you know, filming everything all the time, I can just run cameras off that without a problem. I bought for it as well the cradle. So I bought this cradle for the phone. So it's wireless charging, and I can have my maps up there. The cradle, honestly, if you're wondering about buying it, this is the original BMW one. You can buy a cheaper version from eBay, but you know, they're 20 quid. Now, someone did say to me they've got one and it works perfectly, but I've been bitten before like that, and it's, you know, buy cheap, buy twice, isn't it? So I just bit the bullet and bought the original part. Works brilliant. Honestly, it's so easy to fit. You don't need any tools to fit it at all. It just slots straight on, and there's a little adjustment screw there. So you slacken that off, and then you can set it up for your size of phone and just literally drop your phone onto it. That's it. That is it. Modern phones now are waterproof, aren't they? I am still going to bung that charging point up with a bit of blue tack, because I just don't trust it. So what date is it today? It's November the 26th today. So this time in a month it'll be Boxing Day, won't it? Bloody hell. All of a sudden it's there, isn't it, Christmas? Personally, I don't care for it. You know, I'm not religious. I've not got kids. Just me and my wife. Buy my wife something. Don't know what yet. Keep asking her. She just keeps saying, don't know. But these roads, I've ridden these in the summer. These are fantastic. Oh God, this bike is so easy to ride. Look at that, just third gear. These roads are very similar to the Pecos roads in their twistiness. Just a bit nervous on these tyres, and I'm not used to the bike fully either, so I'm not taking it quick. It is damp. Having said that, I haven't had any moments. Only when the tyres were cold and I was coming out of the house the last time I rode the bike. I did do like this review on the bike then, but I didn't do anything with it. I didn't bother editing it because I'd just got too much to do. I'd got too much with the backlog of Pecos editing. I'll tell you that Pecos edit, I'm not going to do it like that anymore. 4 camera feeds to produce each one of those videos, which are about 30-35 minutes long. It takes me just forever. Man, that was such hard work, even without talking on them. I know you guys love it, and thank you very much for your comments, you know, and thank you very much for all you new subscribers who've jumped on board. I'm going to eventually crack the 2,000 barrier in the next week or so. 2,000 subscribers. Personally, I think it's 6 months late at that point. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with YouTube, but my subscriber count is, I think it's way behind where it should be. So right, sit back and enjoy the ride, and we will poodle for a bit. obviously, because I'm stuck behind a horse box. So yeah, chat with you in a bit. That is something that I love about this bike. It's got this hill hold thing on it, which is just like magic. Watch this. Watch the little green light. There you go. H. So that has put a brake on, and you don't have to do anything else. You just then pull off as normal, and it just takes the brake off as you pull off. It's absolutely brilliant. So it's just on the front brake. You just pull it on. I loved the brake on the Africa Twin. You know, the handbrake on the left. You just pull the handbrake on when you're on a hill. This does exactly the same, but simpler. I'm not saying it's better, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to split hairs here between this bike and the Africa Twin. I'm not saying one's better than the other. For me, it was all down to size and weight, and you know, I'd just had enough basically. I'd given it a good go. 2 years as good go. But yeah, just when this came up, I'd been looking around for about 6 months. So when this came up, well, there's no right time, is there? It wasn't the right time. But it came up and it was an opportunity. I could have said no, but I just thought, yeah. And the rest is history. Get yourself, look at this countryside. This is lovely. I don't think I've been up here before. That's the only problem with curvy routes, isn't it? They are prone to taking you through a housing estate just to make it curvier. Oh, it's curvy, all right. Not the prettiest of routes, but you know, it is curvy. This is crazy, man. Where am I now? It's busy up here. I'm looking for somewhere to stop for a wee, but can't really. This'll do. This'll do for a bit of a stop. Let's show you these lights, because these lights are mega. Oh, they're off now. Why are they off? Why are they? I don't understand. Those Denali D4s, maybe it's too bright because they work off the sensor on the bike, so maybe that's it. Don't know. Look at that for a bike. Now, you can say what you like about the GS. I don't think, now being honest, I don't think it's visually as attractive as the Africa Twin. There, I've said it. I don't think it is. I like the looks. I just think that the Africa Twin was a better looking bike. Excuse me, you might not agree with me. Don't care. So I'll do a bit of a walk around for you, because I can. Brembo on the rear. Brembo caliper on the rear. Twin pot. Adequate. Shaft drive. No more chain maintenance. That, I have to say, I'm really chuffed with that. It's got a mud sling on it, look. So that doesn't get all shitty under there, because it gets caught in there, look. Excellent. That's good. I like that a lot. The guy who had this before me has literally put everything on. He put these crash bars on. He put all the lights on. So it's got full crash bars. These also light up, as I've shown you before. The badge lights. Everybody is jealous of the badge lights. Personally, I'm not overly bothered about that sort of level of bling. Let's turn the lights on. I can't show you those Denalis because, as I've said, the light sensor, it's not dark enough for them. But when they are on, man, are they bright. I mean, nobody's got any excuses. I love the paint job. Look, there are those little lights. Look how sexy they are. All the GS owners love them. Yes, I know, I'm a GS owner now. Look at this Krapovich system as well. Full Krapovich system with a bit of carbon bling. Yeah, right the way up to the headers. Sounds really quite nice. It is pretty loud still, you know. I've not come up with a name for her yet, and I think it is a her. It's also got this this brake light as well, so that flashes when you brake. Just, you know, a little bit more safety. You can't be too safe, can you? Tank pad. Keyless, properly keyless as well, so when the bike is off and you're at the garage, as long as you've got your keys in your pocket, obviously, you don't need a bloody key to get in your fuel tank. I love it. I love that. I hated going on keyless rides where you have to use a key. Switch gear, standard switch gear, cruise control, lights, hazards, menu, suspension, ABS, indicators, horn. Horn is also, of course it is. You literally put everything on this bike. So this was the cradle, and literally it locks in as well because it's got the key on it, so once it's on you don't have to keep taking it off because someone's going to pinch it. You just drop your phone into there and away it goes, you know, just charges automatically. That's my little technical blue tack there. That's for putting on the phone if it starts raining. Yeah, it's got those USB sockets too. It's just I love it. I love the bike. I do love it. Yeah, BMW caliper on the front, look. This is the one that's made by, this is the style, I mean, that's made by the American company Hayes. It's perfect. Works really well. They also put a hugger on it, look. There's also a hugger on there. Stop the bike getting totally shite up, which it is today. Because the roads are a bit gooey. But yeah, I am, I keep saying it, I know, sorry, boring you to death. I'm chuffed to bits with it. I love this bike. Oh, it's got Evotech bar ends as well. I did buy for these, so they're a little bit low, a little bit skinny, and to keep my hands warm I bought the extenders. However, they were cheap eBay shit, and they don't, I need a longer screw. I need another one of these, so I've got to go back to BMW and see if they'll give me a couple of longer screws so I can fit them, because they don't fit, or well, they don't reach to actually tighten it up on there. Never mind, it's a minor thing, I'll get it done at some point. They were, how much are they? 16 quid, 17 quid, something like that. Top box, it's ugly. I don't want loads of stickers on it, that's the only one that's going on it. It's peeling off, look. I'll have to put another one on. Yeah, that's the only one that's going on it. I don't want to just cover it with stickers, don't want them, don't want them. I just want to keep it clean as it is. So yeah, that is my new baby. Not got a name for it yet. Did I mention that? Not got a name. RX69 SOE. I did think Roxy. Any anybody come up with anything any different to Roxy? Roxanne's a bit too long, and Roxy I think is quite a nice name. So I was planning on going with that, unless you guys come up with something better. Beautiful sunshine now. How lovely. That big kite, beautiful bird. So that's what it's like in the countryside. What's it like around town? Well, I can tell you it's very, very easy and well behaved, as you'd expect. As you'd expect me to say as well. I mean, it's no real stretch of the imagination, is it? It's got better balance. The centre of gravity is lower. It's just perfectly well behaved. The bars are wide. I'm not sure whether they're actually wider than on the Africa Twin. The bars are pretty wide, and so I can see filtering being a little bit of an issue. Not much of an issue. Advantage. Right folks, well that's me about done for this afternoon. I'm not far from home now. Just going to trundle off home, download this data. So hope you've enjoyed that little run out down to Rutland area. Yeah, Rutland area. Ibrook Reservoir. I'll see you on the next video. This is, let's go with Roxy. This is Roxy. Follow me on the social media platforms. And I'll see you on the next video, guys. Thanks for coming along with me today. I'll see you soon.